Long day of transportation today. Just trying to get from Swaziland back to South America. So we stopped at a couple of places, villages, shopping things. And then we took a really long drive through Kruger National Park, which wasn't like an official safari. We were on the bus, but Kruger has like a paved road, a couple of paved roads that like you can actually get to a destination by driving through it. So we did that today. And then tomorrow is like the official safari. So we have been on the bus a long time today. My social battery is so drained. Like I literally was like staggering coming back into my hotel room just from exhaustion. I was going to take a bath tonight, but I was afraid I was going to like fall asleep and drown. So, shower it was, bath tomorrow after the safari. So, but it's cool. We definitely saw more animals today. Today we saw giraffes for the first time, which is really cool. So we saw giraffes. We saw a leopard, which there's only like a 10% chance of seeing that. Hyenas. Oh my God. We saw this one hyena that he like was eating a bunch of stuff and then he threw up and then he rolled around in his vomit. And so that tells you everything you need to know about hyenas. They're gross and their eyes look like they're on meth. So there was that. More zebras, more impalas, all that good stuff. Baby elephants. The baby elephants still don't quite understand the buses. Like mom and dad understand the buses and like understand they're harmless, but the babies like charge the bus because they are like pissed off and don't like it, which I can understand why. Everybody on our bus was freaking loud. And like I was sitting in the section with like the marathon group and they're like paparazzi and like we were told like don't bother trying to take pictures from the bus, they're not going to come out, they won't be great, like you're going to see all that stuff on the safari tomorrow. But oh my God, every animal, they're like stop, can you move the bus a little bit, can we do this, why won't the animal look at us, why won't it move, oh my God. And like they had to get pictures and videos of everything, it was ridiculous. So I was sitting near them. So there are other things I want to say but can't because it would be nice. We did go to this village today where we got to see like a traditional like Swaziland like village family. And they did like a dance and like singing and they made me dance. So there is evidence of that. I have a video where I actually danced and I did not behave awkwardly about it. I played along and did it. So, but I think like it took everything out of me to, to be the good sport. And then I think like what's really draining me are these two women that I cannot get away from. They're single travelers, but they travel together. Like I guess they met recently on a trip, and so now they're like traveling together, but are single solo travelers. And I think it's interesting that they have formed like a friendship and a comfort in traveling because they both have the same affliction. And there's always somebody on every tour that has this issue. If there are other solo travelers, like there's at least one that is like, I get it. Like, I think solo travel is great. I think you should get out there and do stuff. I think if you're like newly single or widowed or divorced and like you need to do something and you're looking for companionship and like forging connections, like I think this is a great thing to do. And I think there's a lot of really cool people that do that. But there's always one person who's also lonely, I'm sure. And like they don't get to talk or don't feel heard or whatever it is in their life. But they they don't even recognize you as a separate person from anyone else. And so they just tell the same stories over and over again as though you're a new audience each time. Like they don't even recognize you and differentiate you from someone else. So they can sit down with you and act like they've never met you and just tell the whole same story all over again. Like literally the point yesterday, I was on the same Jeep with them for the safari we did yesterday morning. And like later in the day when we were having a meal, one of them asked me like, "Oh, well, what did you see on your Jeep tour?" And I was like, "Same thing you did. I was in the same Jeep you were." Like, just no awareness. Like, just every person is the same to them. It's just an audience, and they prey on me. Like, because I have no one, like, I don't have a spouse to like rescue me from it. So if I'm sitting alone, like, they gang up on me and sit at the table with me. Like, they single me out, they find me, and they just talk, 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 talk. And it's like, at first I tried to engage and like respond, and like one of them argues with me on stuff. Like, she'll ask me questions like, "Oh, you've been to Kenya, what's different about that tour from this one?" And then I'll answer those questions, and then she'll tell me I'm wrong, and I'm like, "Okay, but you just asked me and you've never been on the Kenya tour." I have, but now you're telling me I'm wrong. So it's like, I don't I don't have like the social skills to maintain that and sort of pretend like I'm interested, or pretend like I care, or pretend like I haven't heard that story 6 times, or pretend like you don't correct me or talk down to me. Like, I've learned now that my place with those women is to just say nothing, because it doesn't matter what I say or what I do. Like, my thoughts, my words mean nothing. They don't even recognize that they just talked to me 20 minutes ago. And so I've gotten to the point now where like they will sit with me or follow me somewhere, and they will just talk and talk and talk and talk, and I don't say anything. I say nothing. Now there's other solo traveler. She's way more polite than I am because she's a nurse, and so it's like she's got to put up with people like this all the time and pretend like she cares and is interested. So she's got a way better bedside manner, and she can just manage the conversation and say what little needs to be said to at least acknowledge them. I admire that trait in her. I do not have that skill. So I literally just sit there and say nothing, and they just talk and talk and talk at me. And I have had it. I've had it. To the point tonight where, like, so you get like one free drink with every meal, and like, I don't drink coffee. So for me, I have to make sure there's like Diet Coke or Coke Zero, and I drink it like first thing in the morning. And like often that's not something they serve at breakfast. And so like I have to, like, if we're in a town where I can go to a store and I can stock up on them, I do. And so I've been doing that for most of the trip, but we've gotten to the point where we're now in places that are very remote, and like you don't leave the premises, whatever. So I have to rely on what I've bought, or like if we get a chance to go out and we're in like a village or a souvenir shop and I can find some, then I buy more. But like we're getting to the point where like they're hard to find. So tonight at the hotel, I got my free drink with dinner, but then I asked for a couple Coke Zeros that I would just pay for separately, and which was easy and totally fine. And he placed them at, in front of me on the table. But one of these other women does the same thing I do. Like, she's a Coke Zero person, like no coffee. And it was to the point that I was terrified that she was going to ask me how I got to Coke Zeros. And I didn't want to even get into it. I didn't even want to say something as simple as I asked him and I paid for it. Like, I just was like, it was like my Coke Zeros felt like ticking time bombs at the dinner table. Like, I just was like, please don't notice this. Please don't notice this. Please don't ask me questions because I don't want to talk about it. Like, get your own Coke Zero, figure out your own Coke Zero situation. I've given you tips on how to do it. Like, I just don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to answer these questions. And now tomorrow I have to be back in the Jeep with them for the whole day for the safari. And this one woman was complaining that when we were on our safari yesterday, the guy didn't tell us anything, and like he should. Yeah, because she wouldn't shut the fuck up. She was just talking, 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 talking. And you're not even supposed to talk. Like, you're supposed to be really quiet in these things so that you don't scare the animals off. And like, it's also cool because you can hear them coming sometimes if it's quiet enough. Like, I heard an elephant coming yesterday. I could hear it like breaking branches. So anyway, I'm tired, and more to come.